All right. Another episode of Real Time. Cheers.
It's Labor Day. Is the year already? It's Christmas already. It's Labor Day weekend. And it really did. We finally had an interview last night with Kamala Harris. Did you watch it? Oh, wow. That's a lot of
Finally.
people watched it. Not just her, with Tim Walz, her emotional support VP. It was a little odd. He was just sitting there. The women's focus group said he must be a wonderful husband. They always ask the stupidest question in the world. What would you do on day one? You know, it's not that kind of a fucking job, okay? It's just not that kind of a job. Donald Trump, of course, had to shit tweet while he was watching it. Okay, they're having a fight about the mics. Now, in the last debate with Biden, remember, they turned the mics off.
Do that again,
when
please.
The guy wasn't speaking. Now it's reversed.
What?
Because they know he's his own worst enemy. She wants the mic on, and his team wants it off. They also want him to wear one of those cones your dog wears. He said he wants now a space National Guard.
Oh, man.
In case there's an uprising by Black Holes Matter. And then he grabbed some flowers off somebody else's grave and said, "Send these to Melania."
Oh, man.
That picture says a lot. Because he looks like he's genuinely giving you congratulations. And even though you're on the other side, we're all Americans. That Republican is gone, am I right?
Long gone.
So is there any way to get back to the great times of George Bush? They would say the Democrats have changed a lot in that era, too. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I think we've been true to who we are. We are the
No,
party
yes,
of
they
working
have.
class.
You might have heard me say this before. Both sides have changed. They both have extremes on both ends, on both sides. But the ones who really kicked it off was the Tea Party. And they were a response to Barack Obama. So their response to the Tea Party was the far left, which is Antifa and all these ultra woke people. So that's where we're at now. And then you throw Trump in the mix and it gets even crazier.
But we are a diverse party. As I say, our diversity is our strength. Our unity is our power. And that's why we have to come.
Okay, I got to disagree with that one. Diversity is good, at least on paper. It should be, it's supposed to be. But it's very difficult to manage it. That's why Republicans, conservatives, it's a lot easier for them to get elected and for them to run a campaign because they only have to appease one group, white, straight males, Christian white males. Nothing wrong with that, but it makes things a lot easier. Whereas the left, they have so many groups that they have to appease, man. I remember one inauguration, I can't remember which one it was, but they wanted to give thanks to God. And almost half the room was disagreeing with that. Like, no God. Keep it secular. And then the other half was like, no, let's thank God. And, oh, man, it was a mess. You don't have to worry about that with the Republicans. Hopefully she explains it, but somebody clarified it online. I thought it was just a blanket benefit to all illegal immigrants. Turns out, no. It's only for just a very few amount. And they're all dreamers. There are people who were brought here when they were very young. But number one, they got to clarify that. I make a commercial or something. Number two, why would you even do that right now? Because you know the Trumpers are going to use it. They're going to lie. They're not going to clarify it. They're going to roll with it, man. They're like, look what you're doing. Look what you're doing with your tax money.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But understand this about immigration.
Oh, gosh, he's not going to clarify it.
Immigration was by President Ronald Reagan.
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but
I knew she didn't know.
Dream of home ownership.
Jesus Christ, lady, really? I know it, and I'm not even. No, come on, man.
This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well,
Tell him, Bill. Tell her.
What I would like to do is move them to documented. The fact that is move them to documented.
God, they're terrible, man. That's not going to get you elected. That is not going to help you. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate and have the mind of a Trumper. So I got to shrink my brain a little bit, but we're going to try to play their part. And they'll say something like, oh, you just want them to be legalized so they can vote for you. Blah, blah, blah. And I can see why they think that. But it swings both ways. If you cater to them, they'll vote for you. Because there's a lot of conservatives, immigrants, illegal immigrants or whatever. Catholicism is a conservative institution. There's a lot of, oh my God, there's a whole lot of conservative Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, Cubans, my God. But it's like the Republicans, they don't want to deal with that. Because if you cater to that side, you're going to anger a lot of Trumpers. So it's a tough one for them, which is why they'd rather just not do that. No legal pathway, none of that crap. Now, I've said it before again. I got a, well, who the hell am I, right? But I got an idea where you give every illegal immigrant a 10-year work program, a work permit. Tax them. You have a kid here, you got to suspend the Constitution a little bit or amend it to where if you're on that program, you sign away the right to, if you have a kid here, they won't be legalized. I'm sorry, they won't be citizens. Because that's kind of a cheat a little bit, So, and I'm just saying, I don't mind that. There's a lot of anchor babies out there. They're good people, so I don't really care about that. But the Trumpers do care. They don't want, especially Trump. He doesn't want anchor babies to be a thing anymore. So I think that'll satisfy both sides. Because when I tell you that these illegal immigrants, they don't want to live here, because when they come here, they have to live in the gutter, in crime-infested areas. What they really do want is to save money, send it back home, go back home, get a little bit of land, build a home, and just brag to the other peasants who haven't been able to come to America. I've heard them talk. I've seen it. Can nobody tell me any different? That's what they really want. And especially during Christmas time, they want to go back home and be able to come back and work. But they don't want to live here for the rest of their lives. They really don't. They want to go back home with some money.
Who could have ever thought that the President of the United States would incite an insurrection against the Congress, the Constitution, and the Capitol?
I was saying it for you.
I never thought that either. Like, come on, that's crazy.
Responsibility I will take for Donald Trump is to make sure he is not re-elected.
Yeah. Now, again, I'm going to shrink my brain down, pretend I'm a Trumper, and they'll say, oh, no, he said in his speech, oh, please make it peaceful, la, 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 la. Yeah. Trump, he's not very smart, but he's very cunning. He knows what language to use. He knows he can't say certain things that can be used against you in a court of law. So he has to say that, because in court, that would work really favorably for you. Look, he said to be peaceful. That's it. But the truth is, it's something they call a dog whistle. Well, look, you guys know I got to say this, but you know what I actually mean. I'm with you. Go ahead and go fuck that place up. No problem. Now, the proof in the pudding is, when it was happening, he was looking at it live on TV. And he could have easily got on the internet. Oh, man, he could have called a press conference. He could have done a bunch of things and say, hey, just stop it right now. No. He was looking at it like, wow, they really love me.
Yeah, we had to get the National Guard there, but he resisted. He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
But I hate to use the word lie, and I hate to use the word hate. So that was a sentence that I didn't like.
Come on, stop being a hippie about it.
Teddy Roosevelt said, when you're in the arena, you're no longer a spectator. And I said to
Amen to that.
When you go in that arena, you got to be ready to take a punch. You got to be ready to throw a punch for the children. For the children.
Wu-Tang Clan over here.
Aren't we excited about...
Yes, and sometimes you're discouraging people to run. We're not going to get into that.
No,
whatever.
Bill.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely they do. He is a professor of linguistics at Columbia University. Oh, Columbia. The kids are back to their encampments.
It's a joyous place.
I don't know why we ever thought she was as bad as people thought she was. It was like Biden had that one bad night. She had a bad 3 years.
He speaks ritualistically like a politician. If somebody asks you, do you have the time?
Speaking ritualistically. I like that.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't.
There you go.
They're all going to lie. They're politicians. It's what they lie about.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So you...
Wait.
They just can't...
Okay, so again, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Wouldn't that apply to Trump, too? Because Trump lies a whole lot. But he always calls them out on it. And I always say that his supporters don't care whether he lies. Like he says, it's about what you lie about. As long as you don't lie about a certain issue that you're very passionate about, that's all that matters. That's all that matters to a Trumper or even a liberal. Just don't lie about that issue that I'm really passionate about.
We think about her as Mamala, and she has nieces and all of that.
Mamala.
When really, the Democrats have been so smart from that moment when they got Joe to step down. Everything has been good. This idea of, thank you, one guy. Or maybe that's the strategy. They look like a married couple. They look like every interracial couple in every commercial.
Yeah.
They didn't do the optics right because she looked like she was only 2 feet tall, and he was up front looking like Frosty the Snowman. So it kind of failed. But
talking about how hot he is versus how hot he used to be. And then you're
fucking drunk.
Half black, half South Asian, from the Bay Area. We all know. We see it.
Yeah.
Don't need to focus.
I mean, Trump got shot on July 13th, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, then for the next week, it was just like, this race is over. I mean,
yeah, I remember that.
Blood on his face. Please, I mean, just why we've been talking about this. Now, that picture, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yep.
It's
hell yeah,
corny now.
I think in part, what kind of made that story go away was the shooter. If the shooter would have been 100% Antifa, far left nutcase, it would have made for a better story. But he wasn't. He was a Republican. He was Trump all the way. Ironically, everybody who knew him said that he was very conservative. And he tried to mask it by contributing money, donating money to $15 to a Democratic cause. But I think maybe he was trying to cover his footprints. I wish he would have left the manifesto, but he didn't. But I think he wanted, because he saw what happened before with other shooters and their manifestos, and it doesn't do anything. So he was like, you know what, I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to leave a manifesto. I think, this is my humble opinion, I think he wanted to start a race war because he contributed to that Democratic cause. People were going to think, oh, he's a lefty or whatever. And he was hoping it was going to trigger some kind of war, some kind of retaliation. But no, it turns out that he was a Trumper, conservative. So it didn't make any sense for people to continue that narrative. Everybody just buried it. Like, let's pretend it never happened.
And then all of a sudden, Biden turns out to be half dead during a debate, and everything changes. It's been an exciting summer.
Picture this scenario. What if instead of Trump getting up, pumping his fist, and saying fight, he actually got shot in the head, was in a coma for like a week or a month or whatever. And all this, everybody, the whole country, really, because a lot of people, even the ones who don't agree with him, they don't want him dead. They don't want him to be killed. So everybody was waiting for him to see if he came back from it, and he did. And then he raised his fist in the air after recovering. I think that would have been better, because you feel sympathy for someone who suffered, which is why you feel bad when somebody gets assassinated. MLK, JFK. But this one, he got grazed. and he looked defiant. It was pretty cool. But I think it would have been more effective if he would have actually got shot, recovered, and maybe you'll garner some sympathy. Maybe.
We might not be talking about or remembering the assassination photo, but that did supercharge, I think, his supporters in a lot of ways.
Not really.
Because he's now having an awards ceremony. I don't know if you know this. I mentioned it up front.
Set to hold an award gala. Oh my God!
For the brave rioters on January 6th.
The brave rioters.
And, best supporting crisis actor, for example. There's the Amber Heard Award for shitting where you're not supposed to.
Amber Heard. Amber Turd.
Brazil is blocking Twitter. I mean, he calls it X. I'll always call it Twitter.
Hell yeah. Same here.
Now, you say on the site, the election is stolen. That's my opinion. And I think you can and should be able to. That's still opinion. That's still free speech.
Hell yeah.
What's at issue is whether, say, the shit on the bathroom wall is radioactive and might kill you. If we're talking about illegal sorts of things.
Now, the one that everybody had a big issue with, and I get why, was the COVID stuff. I think Facebook, I think Twitter, the old owners of Twitter, they've come out and said that they blocked a lot of that stuff. They censored a lot of that information because that misinformation could lead to a lot of people losing their life. So where do you draw the line? If the science is not in yet, they're still conducting experiments, they're still trying to figure things out, then who are you to come up with your own conclusion without any research and say that, the vaccine doesn't work, masks don't work, or whatever the case may be. Even if that's true, the science still hasn't came in yet. And but look, I'm one of those guys that I don't like Fauci, man. He's a terrible spokesperson, whatever he is. He's horrendous, man. His past is atrocious, especially when it came to the HIV, the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. I've seen footage of him saying some crazy stuff. Undeniable. He can't even deny all that. So he was saying crazy stuff before the science came in. So as far as he goes, I wouldn't believe anything he says. But science as a whole, we have to. We can't go around believing any crazy person who says anything. Sadly, that's all we got. Science, and science is not fast. Science takes a long time to give us results. And for all you, look, the vaccine, I'm like kind of 50-50 with it. I got it once, at the height of the pandemic, I got it. Never got it again. But if you get it all the time, that's fine. That's cool. But the ones who I really hated with a passion were the anti-mask people. Because I think back, to me, wearing a mask it wasn't really to protect yourself. Not really. Some people think that, but not really. It's to protect others, right? In case you have it, because that's the way COVID worked. You might have it and not even know it. You might be asymptomatic, but you might have it and it's in your system, but you don't have any symptoms yet, but you can still spread it. So you're really trying to help your country, your community get back to its normal self. So I would label it as you're doing it for country. You're being patriotic. And there's people who have given their lives for their country in the military, especially in World War II. And if you know about Normandy and all the wars that they fought, not everything they had to go through for country, and you compare it to just wearing a fucking mask for a few minutes inside a store, to me that really pissed me off. Like, you fucking selfish piece of shit. Of all the hardships that people have to go through in life, wearing a piece of cloth across your face, that's the one you can't do. No, again, devil's advocate. Oh, it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. Well, let me ask you this. If you're one of those people, when you cough in public or sneeze in public, what do you normally do? I mean, normally, because some people are just disgusting. They don't do anything. Normally, you put your hand up, you put your arm, whatever the case may be. You turn your head, put your arm up, cough and sneeze. Why do you do that? You're hoping not to spread your germs with whatever sickness you have to someone else. Now, is it 100% guaranteed you're not going to infect someone else? No. But you're minimizing the chances of getting someone sick. Now imagine, and I'm talking about year round. If you got the flu, you gotta go out. You should wear a mask. It should be a normal thing. So if you cough and you sneeze and you got a cold, you got the flu, whatever, or even a COVID, especially COVID, you still turn your head, put your arm up, and you got a mask on. Now it's gonna even more minimize the chance of somebody getting sick. Now the Trumpers out there, the anti-mask people, they want a 100% effective method. Same thing with the vaccine. This is the most stupidest argument. I'm going on a rant. I'm going on a rant because it's really fucking stupid. Oh look, they took the vaccine and they're still getting sick from COVID. What? You fucking knuckle dragging fucking buffoon. That's not how it works. Same thing with the flu shot. And I don't like taking the flu shot or the COVID vaccine. But don't say nothing as stupid as that. Yeah, you're still gonna get it, but you're not gonna go to the hospital. And you're probably not gonna die from it. That's the whole point. You're gonna get your symptoms are gonna be minimal. Now the reason I don't like taking the flu shot or the COVID shot is because the science ain't 100% in with the COVID stuff. And to me, the flu shot, I believe, I don't know, and I might be contradicting myself, but I think you should get the flu every once in a while, make your body stronger. But they say getting the flu shot is getting the flu, but you don't get the hardcore symptoms that the actual flu gives you. Maybe, man, I should get the flu shot. I don't know. I just should, man. But the COVID shot, I'll wait on that one.
But if I say, superhero movies are stupid and I hope everyone who goes to one dies, that's an opinion and a good one. No, not a good one.
Yeah, he really believes that. Man, this guy.
Right? You're being filmed right now. Okay. This is Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark?
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
No, he's a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
Yes, he's carved out of wood, but he's a real boy. Anyways, years ago.
Yeah, I'm drunk as fuck, high as hell.
I think we can see that there were different ways of looking at how things were done, how long children were kept out of school, how long they had to mask in school, for example. And so, yeah, the marketplace of ideas. If it were a different kind of pandemic where there really clearly was very much less room to maneuver, okay, that would fall on the other side of that line.
That's all in hindsight.
That's not what COVID was like, even at its height. I would have to say.
I agree.
The moment when...
Now they want to say this in hindsight. But back then, nobody knew anything. People forget about the incubation period of this fucking virus, man. I want to call it evil, but it's not evil. It's just being itself. It's the people and the way they acted, the way they behaved, that made the whole situation evil. Hoarding stuff. Like, come on, man. Like, God, I hate people for real. Like, we suck. We really fucking suck sometimes. But, to look back with a crystal ball and be like, oh, what we did was wrong. No, everybody was trying their best. Scientists, politicians, everybody at the same time was going through this blindly. And I criticize the CDC a lot because they should have known more. I'll give them that. The CDC looked like it was created in 2020. Like they never did any kind of research with any kind of virus or any disease or anything prior to 2020. They were as ignorant as everyone else. When they said, keep 12 feet apart. And then they changed it to, I think, 8. And then, okay, no, 6. Why are they guessing, man? They should have known this before it even happened. Like, okay, when we have a virus like COVID, because the COVID-19, there's a bunch of coronaviruses. They knew the distance. I don't know why they changed their mind, especially the big one when they said that any mask will do, but in reality, I forgot the name of the N9 or N12, whatever the medical mask, the most effective one was. And then they later on they changed it. Well, they didn't change their mind. They revealed that they were lying. Oh, we didn't want everybody to get those masks because medical staff needed it. Say that then, man. Or they should have had a stockpile already just in case. What the fuck were they doing during that whole time before 2020? Somebody got to have like some kind of audit or something. Like, what were they doing?
I certainly understand the Asian point of view here also. They're 6.4% of the population, and they're 47% of MIT.
Wow.
Like, yeah, my tiger mom made me study.
Hell yeah. Well deserved. All right, another rant. Some people like to throw the word racist a lot. Racism, da, da, da. I don't know if there's a word for culture when you're against a culture or pro-culture. Culturism, I don't even know, but culture to me is like a really funny thing because it's bad and it's good. It's like you bring in an immigrant at any time period, and they bring in certain parts of their culture that you want. You want it to integrate into this American culture. And it has. A lot of them have. The cuisine, traditions like Christmas, all that stuff. Halloween, that's from Ireland. I love Halloween. But then there's cultures that bring certain aspects of that culture that aren't, oh man, hell no, come on. You got to let this go. And it has nothing to do with race. It's just that particular culture. And they refuse or they can't assimilate. And Asians, I can't say Asians. Well, yeah, Asians, Indians, Koreans, whatever, Japanese. They have they put emphasis on school and studying and doing very well academically. Whereas Latinos and Black people of America, let me be clear, Black people of America, not so much. Latinos, especially Mexicans, they put a lot of emphasis on hard work, back-breaking labor, for men especially. That's what you should do. That's what you got to do, and that's it. You hope if your kid somehow is able to excel, yeah, college it is. But usually it's just labor, and that's something that, in my opinion, Black American. I say Black Americans because Nigerians, man, I met many a Nigerian who come to this country legally with a visa. Man, they're geniuses, man. And they're just as black as any other country in Africa. But to me, the Nigerians are the smartest of them all. So what do you attribute to that? Culture. Even when it comes to like criminal stuff, scamming and all that, they're geniuses, man. Very sophisticated stuff. So yeah, in my opinion, Latinos in America and Black people of America got a change in thought, a change in culture.
Your son, your daughter didn't get into school X with incredible qualifications because we needed to make room for Black people because of conditions that recede ever more in time. Nobody has ever found a slam dunk argument there because, frankly, there just isn't one. So you have to change it. Instead of doing it about what color your skin is, you do it about opportunity and disadvantage, and it becomes about class. And if that means that there are a few more underclass white kids than Black kids, well, still, nobody would have any problem with that. We would solve the problem.
That's a good one.
Affirmative action. You keep it, it's fine, but you make it about
class.
Disadvantage rather than your suntan.
All right.
Good one.
Thank you. And time for new rules, everybody.
New rules, everybody. New rules.
New cars have to leave me the fuck alone and... New cars should come with only one thing pre-installed. A French fry stuck in the seat crack.
Hell yeah. Oh, it always happens to me, man.
New rule, stop acting like it's weird that Bobby Kennedy chainsawed the head off a dead whale and
Dear God.
brought it home, and scraped up a dead bear and brought it home. And... New rule, someone has to explain to me the point of tagging, where you slap your name on something immediately decreasing its value. It's not being an urban artist. You're just a dick with a spray can.
Shameless plug time. I got a book about a group of teenagers who go inside an abandoned building. They get lost and can't find their way out. So I know what he's talking about. And that was my teenage life. I was part of that. And they say the older you get, the more conservative you get. And it's true, because I don't like those tags either anymore. Now, I like murals, but like I go down to Oakland, man. That's where I'm from. I look at all those tags. It looks like depressing. Like, man, I love where I'm from and everything, but it makes it look like a straight gutter. And believe me, I'm not gonna explain it, but there is an art to those tags. There's something to them, but sometimes it gets out of hand.
New rule, before Hellmann's releases their new mayonnaise-scented men's fragrance.
Mayonnaise?
It's
What?
real, called. Exactly what occasion is this for? The nights you don't want to get laid? Two lawyers are standing on the curb. They see a gorgeous woman crossing the street. One says, "Boy, I'd like to fuck her." And the other one says, "Yeah, out of what?" But never doctors. And yet, doctors killed Matthew Perry.
Yeah,
Just
and
like
Michael
they killed
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
There you go.
Prince. Tom Petty.
Yeah,
Elvis
yeah.
Presley. Doctors have killed more rock stars than twin-engine planes.
Whoa, that's dark. People are thinking about it like, whoa, Bill, hold on.
I give you permission. Oxy and hydrocodone pills were prescribed, resulting in over 210,000 overdose deaths, and they weren't prescribed by the opiate fairy.
No. Doctors. That's right. You got to take that stuff, man, that information and everything with a grain of salt. But what's the alternative? Who else do you go to? There has to be a word for that. Like, when you can't turn to no one else. Like, when you're in trouble and you call the police and they make things worse. But you have no choice. Same thing with doctors and scientists. You want to believe them, and a lot of us do, but they've been wrong so many times throughout history, man. They've been wrong a lot. Not only wrong, but intentionally harmful in their practice. They're human beings, just like police officers, man. Everybody's a human being, but there has to be checks and balances, man. There has to be laws in the books to where if you hurt someone, especially in the position that you're in, there has to be some kind of accountability, some kind of punishment that differs from a normal average citizen.
Because it turns out medicine is a lot like religion. It has to do with your mortality, so it's super scary. And people just want to believe in some kind of priesthood who tells you they know what you couldn't possibly know. And only they can keep you safe. One, no one in America can piss or shit except when they least expect it. Even if your problem is you take too many pills, we have a solution to that, another pill.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We don't even question the logic of, ask your doctor if it's right for you. How incompetent is my doctor if I have to let him know?
Right. Oh, my God. I've been saying that for years.
He didn't even think of.
Look, man, I don't know how the medical industry works, hospital, but for every new pill that comes out, right, I'm hoping it's more effective than the last one. Every doctor should have a chart every day that they get. You know what is the latest drug? It's very effective. If you have a patient who needs treatment and this pill could help him or her, recommend this drug. Why the fuck do I gotta tell you?
And his licensed and trained legitimate doctor texted another doctor and wrote, I wonder how much this moron will pay. Let's find out.
Jeez.
Apparently, the Hippocratic Oath now means first do no harm to your bank account. I mean, done in by your assistant? To a celebrity, that's the cruelest blow of all. They simply gave him a different drug, which accomplished the goal. If the goal was getting Matthew Perry addicted to a new drug. It's like if he had stopped by the firehouse and they set him on fire.
Jesus.
The one who had just written a book with the phrase, the big terrible thing in the title. If that guy comes to you for help, maybe don't give him more drugs.
All right. Yeah, he's right, but he's right. He's 100% right. What is the alternative? Because I'm going to be honest. I was diagnosed with diabetes 2020, late 2020. And I refuse to take drugs. I don't like pills. I like weed. I like drinking. I don't like drugs. I don't like any kind of drug, legal or not. I don't like taking pills, vaccines. I don't like them. I don't know. They just don't feel natural to me. They shouldn't be in my body. They're just man-made. I don't know. So when I found out I was diabetic, I was like, I'm gonna take care of this naturally. I could do it. I got enough discipline. I can do it. I mean, I tried hard, so hard. And it worked. It dropped my A1C a little bit, but nah, it was a living hell sometimes. Man, you don't eat enough. You eat too much. Constantly watching what you eat. I mean, it got to be a headache. Man, I recently gave up. I'm like, man, no, this is too much. So I told the doctor, man, give me the pill. Just give me those diabetic pills. Man, when I tell you the difference it made. Man, I mean, I'm not 100%. Sometimes, I still feel kind of woozy and kind of, messed up. But in comparison, I feel way better. So where do you draw the line? Now, I wish Matthew Perry would have had some kind of alternative, But like what? Because that addictive brain is hard to cure. Some might argue it's impossible to cure. I don't know, man. There's so many theories out there of what you can do. I think Joe Rogan or someone said that you take psychedelic and it'll help you see something that you've never seen before, that you had no idea was there about yourself, about life and everything, and that might help you. That's a theory, hypothesis or whatever. But another one, it hits close to home, is Ozempic. Now this drug is very weird, man. It's a very odd little drug. Yeah, everybody knows it helps you lose weight, but it also helps you curb cravings or addiction. And the real crazy part is they don't know why it does that. Scientists, doctors, they don't. That's not an effect that they thought would happen, or a side effect, if you want to call it that. Same thing with Viagra. It wasn't even meant for that. It was, I think, a blood pressure drug, and it had an effect that they didn't see coming. So maybe I don't know if Matthew Perry was ever prescribed. They should have gave it to him, man. Anything except that drug that he was given that ended up killing him. But I get what they were trying to do, because heroin addicts have can't remember the name of that drug, but what they do is they give you almost the same amount of heroin that you're getting illegally, but they keep dropping the dose slowly and slowly, because you can't drop that stuff cold turkey. And maybe that's where Matthew Perry was. He was supposed to be given a lesser dose as time went by. But that jacuzzi, man, that sitting in a jacuzzi while you're high might feel good or whatever, but it killed him, Whitney Houston, and that guy, I can't remember his name, but he was like the brother of one of the NSYNC guys. Because I don't think the drug itself killed Matthew Perry or any one of them, but it attributed to it.
Ketamine was an illegal club drug in the 70s, but then it got approved as an anesthetic by the FDA.
Wow, I didn't know that.
There was a hit song in the 80s called I Want a New Drug. Who doesn't? Life can be tough. People have been arguing forever about what the real gateway drug is. It's whatever is the first one you do. Beer, pot, or with kids today, the pharmaceutical shit their own parents and teachers put them on. When it comes to resisting anything that makes a profit in America, you're on your own.
Hello.
Have a sleep mask, your blood pressure monitor is your prescribed medication.
Sleep mask, horse tranquilizer, same diff. It's someone in your college dorm like, well, me. I'm not addicted to pot because pot never does that, and I've never been an everyday smoker. And to those wise asses always asking me if I get high before the show, the answer is no. Well, not right before.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I will catch you on the next one.